Piers Morgan thought he could corner Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett with a smug insult. What he didn't expect was a calm, fact-loaded response that left him speechless and the audience erupting in applause. They told her it would be a fair interview. That's what her chief of staff had said when he booked it. Just a back and forth on civil rights. He's been wanting a strong voice. They say he'll keep it respectful. But as Jasmine Crockett stepped into the studio in Burbank that Thursday morning, something felt off. Not dramatic, nothing too obvious, but off, the kind of thing you only catch if you've been in enough rooms like this. The way the young woman on the makeup team looked at her but didn't say a word, the side glances from the production staff, the odd silence after Jasmine greeted the assistant producer. It was a room waiting for something to happen. Piers Morgan was already seated when she walked onto the set. He didn't stand to greet her, just nodded and glanced down at his notes. She sat, adjusted her mic and smiled politely. Morning. He looked up and smiled back, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. Good morning, Congresswoman Crockett. Let's have a spirited conversation, shall we? Live in 30 seconds. Jasmine shifted slightly in her seat, her spine instinctively straight. She was no stranger to being underestimated. The daughter of a high school cafeteria worker and a truck driver, she'd grown up in Shreveport, spent years practicing law in Dallas before stepping into politics. She'd fought too hard to let herself shrink. Now the stage lights came on, the producer pointed, and we're live in 3, 2. The music cue faded out. Welcome back to Piers Morgan, uncensored. His voice rang out crisp and confident. Today we're joined by Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, a rising star in the Democratic Party and someone with, let's say, very vocal opinions on race, justice, and American policing. She smiled calmly. Thank you for having me. He launched in. Congresswoman, you've been extremely outspoken about what you call systemic racism in America. Many would argue that this country elected a black president twice and currently has a black female vice president. Doesn't that suggest we've made enormous progress? The trap was immediate. Present the illusion of equality, then challenge anyone who says otherwise. But Jasmine didn't blink. Progress doesn't erase what's still broken, Mr. Morgan. It only means we've come far enough to keep pushing. Yet you often speak in such dramatic terms, he said with a slight smirk. You once compared certain police policies to state-sponsored brutality. Isn't that a bit emotionally driven? The emphasis hung in the air. She let it sit for a moment, like a teacher letting a student sit with a dumb question, then answered softly, I'm emotionally driven when I see mothers bearing sons who never made it to 20. Yes, I feel things. That doesn't make me irrational. It makes me human, but I don't come here with feelings. I come with facts. But Piers wasn't looking for balance. He was